Everybody, it's Katie. Hope you've had a good week so far. I came across something in my real life last night that's been buzzing around my head since then, and it just dawned on me this morning. I was out walking with August. We went to a little rose garden and just trying to get out and like get the juices flowing before it got too hot here. And I got really excited about this story or this idea that I want to share with you all. I think some of you might find it really interesting. So a college friend of mine who now lives in Philadelphia started a tradition in her family and among her friends almost a year ago, something I think 9 months ago. And she recently wrote like an article for a website about this tradition. I find myself a lot of times with other vloggers and other women in this community sort of lamenting the loss of the village, sort of the community of people that, people that women used to have, mothers used to have to kind of bounce ideas off of and get help with their kids and help with their house and all of that. And, a lot of us, I think, feel, some people do have that today. I'll give you that. But a lot of us feel more isolated. A lot of us, have, because of our work schedules or the setup of our neighborhoods or whatever, feel a little bit more isolated. Luckily I feel like I've been able to tap into this sort of virtual village of all you guys, but I do have plenty of times when I'm sort of at home with the kids without a way of getting somewhere, and with friends who are working full-time that I can't just like pick up and call or drop in on. Not a lot of people who live really close by me. No nearby family, all that stuff, guys. So obviously I talk about this a lot. I talk about how hard it is to make new friends when you have kids, and every conversation you have is sort of distracted when they're there. I talk about how hard it is for, at least for me and Mike, again, not having like family help and not being able to afford babysitters on a regular basis. So it's really hard to get date nights, get time away, get social time, get like adult interaction. It's hard sometimes getting invited to things that we really would like to do but aren't very kid friendly, or at a time it sort of doesn't work for our whole family. So all that. What my friend, her name is Sarah, has done is started a tradition where every Friday she and her husband and her daughter host people for meatballs. So they host dinner at their house. When I first heard about it, I remember her talking about it just on Facebook and sort of launching the idea, and I remember thinking like, that sounds great, but I can't imagine hosting dinner. Like, I can't imagine having to clean my house every week, having to cook for people every week. That just seems like way too much for me. So she wrote this article kind of 9 months in, talking about how it's been going and what's made it easier for her. And it's perfect. It seems like the perfect solution to all these issues. And her approach is so casual that, I really think it could work for anybody. She's been somebody that over the years, at least from my long distance kind of perspective, has seemed like, she's had her priorities in check and had pretty good like life, work, personal, family sort of balance. So she doesn't really worry about cleaning the house that much. She, doesn't cook something super elaborate. What they do is every Friday they serve meatballs and they invite 10 adults and whatever kids want to come. They do have a 4-year-old, so they have, they want it to be family friendly. I could go on and on. I'll just link to the article that she wrote about it if you want more of the details. She shares a bunch of tips that, things that she has learned over this time that's really made it easier on her and made it a little bit less daunting of an undertaking every week. All morning I've been thinking about this idea of like the community table and a tradition of sharing food with people. I think in my own life, the only things I can really think of that are similar are always growing up, we would go to my grandparents' house on Sunday afternoons, either to their house or to a park, and we would like have a picnic and eat food, and that was our thing. When we first moved to the Southwest from Alaska, we knew very, very few people, and we were lucky enough to get connected to some people who did sort of a dinner club or something once a month. They would pick a restaurant, or I don't know if it was a collective decision, I can't quite remember, but they would put it out there. I think it was the third Thursday or something like that. We'll meet for dinner at this place, and every month it was a different group of people, a different place. We met a lot of new friends that way. It was never the same, never the same dynamic. It was always different, people coming from different places and different cultures, and meeting and making connections. I think at that time everyone who was involved was childless, so that definitely changes things a bit. But the more I've thought about this, the more excited I've gotten, and I'm really, when Mike gets home tonight, I'm gonna talk to him about if there's a way that we can really kind of implement this in our own lives. My thoughts at this point are that probably doing it once a week, my introverted self would kind of freak out about, but you know, maybe once a week or maybe once a month, and then kind of see how it goes, and maybe we could do twice a month or something. I really like the idea of it being a regular thing. Friday night meatballs for them is perfect, because it's just like, you know, other people can kind of bank on it. If that's something they want to do that week, if they're free on a Friday night, it's always the same time, same place, that kind of thing. For us, I could see like a Sunday brunch working really well. I love making like baked French toast. We're hosting Friends for Brunch this weekend, and I was thinking about how easy it would really be for me to do this overnight French toast and fruit and whatever, and just have that be our regular thing. If Mike and I decide that this isn't the right time to kind of start something like this in our lives here, maybe it'll be something that we can do after our eventual move to Cleveland, when we're again trying to like rebuild a new community and meet new people and make those connections again. August is waking up. I don't know what shape this idea could take, but I feel really excited about it. I think some of you out there might be interested. You know, just give it some thought. If this is something you do in any form, you know, whatever the food is, whatever the activity is, whatever your tradition is, sort of, if this is something that you do in your lives now, I would really love to hear about it. If it's something you think more about and you start, please let me know. Just seems like something that has really beautiful potential and could really kind of bring the village back a little bit. Again, I will link to Sarah's article. Please go check it out. She doesn't know I'm making this video. This isn't sponsored or anything in any way. It's just friend to friend. Take care, guys.